This is the video I have been waiting to make for months. When I first was looking at hydroponic systems, I was doing every YouTube channel check I could get my hands on. And I wanted a detailed unboxing and setup of my Iharvest. If you've seen my previous episodes, you will see this one, which is running right now and making a beautiful rainfall in my house. First off, I want to explain 3 boxes, okay? So there are 3 boxes. This is one of the biggest questions of, I got a box, but it's missing parts. I cannot say enough for Igworks, Indoor Gardening Works, and their customer service. The co-founder is the most amazing person and will email you back directly. When I first got this one, I only got big box 1 and big box 2, and I had not gotten my box from the United States Postal Service. So I started emailing and saying, I'm missing this, I'm missing this, I'm missing this. And then he asked if I had gotten my 3rd box. Please, please, please wait until you have all 3 boxes. Again, 1, 2, 3 boxes. We are gonna begin. I've already sliced the boxes open. So this is one episode you do not wanna miss. You wanna watch the whole thing. Let's go. Oh wait, let's grow. All right, we are gonna start with the easiest box, which is your USPS. So this is Postal Service. This is UPS. In the smaller one, you're going to get the rapid rooters, which is gonna be what you're gonna start your seeds in. You can start your seeds in this right in the Iharvest if you want to. A lot of us do these trays back here. Then it's gonna be your pH and your up and down kit with a tester to test your water. You can test your tap water right out of the sink and kind of see where your pH levels are. You're also going to get a seed starter kit. I believe these are going to be changed to Johnny Seeds sponsored, which if you watched my video live, my Q&A, I do talk about Johnny Seeds. Go ahead and use whatever seeds you want. You do not have to use their seeds, which is another reason why I love this system. You're going to get Maxi Grow, which is your food, and these will last you a very long time. You are going to get a timer that looks like this. Now there's been some confusion with the timers. There are 2 timers. One is going to be for your light poles to go into, and one is going to be for your pump. You will be receiving these in with your other little kit items, and these are the clips that go on the baskets, and I will show you how to use those. Now comes the fun part. So on top is a big piece of foam, which we don't need. So here is the base lid. There is a little kit in here that will have your screws for your lights and a screw on the wall and an Allen wrench. These are your big mesh pads that are going to go where the water falls down into your base unit. Here is the pod baskets. This is what your water comes up on the top and shoots out the sides. This will be very important. Do not lose that. And all of these little bolts and screws, wing nuts, little wing nuts and bolts. This is the wall bracket. We'll put a screw in the wall, slide it down, and it latches into the back of the unit. This is all of your tubing. This is perfectly measured for your unit. This is a very thick rubber piping. This is your pump for the actual base. You will notice these little screw pieces. This is going to screw into the top of the pump and also up into your T. Here is your pump, and there's little suction cups on the bottom. A good tip with these, which I will do actually before I fill the tank with water, I like to fill up my sink, soak this in there, make sure it's fully submerged, and kick it on. I mean, the worst thing you want to do is put all this together, have the cables all tucked inside, and you kick it on, and for some reason it's defective. My other one works fine. I'm sure this one works fine. I'm not even gonna question that they would send me a defective one. This is your meter. Now on the old ones, there was a pH meter and a separate ppm meter, and they actually upgraded. This is a very nice, really solid, heavy duty meter. The top screws off. It comes with batteries, which was very nice. So there are watch batteries in the top, and I repopped those in. When we get to the water balancing, I will talk about that, but make sure you go to igworks.com, check out the blog section, and I printed a lot from that blog section. Inside is your instruction manual for putting it together. We're gonna keep digging in the box. This is the pump for the lights that I use for lights because it has 2 outlets for each light pole. This is the lid. Now we're getting into the nitty gritty. In the corners will be the bases for your light stands. And in the middle will be your trellises. They are, again, a heavy duty plastic. They are not metal. We don't want any rusting or them kind of decomposing on us, getting anything on it that would interfere with our pH levels. Then we're gonna pull this baby out. Now we're gonna get into box 3, and we will discover all of the levels and uncover our lights. I have a personal bet with myself. How many times am I gonna crack my head on my chandelier? I have moved my dining room table out of the way, so I have room. And I can already see my light bars. Get those out. So these are the light bars that are going to screw into your bases. And these are going to be the actual lights. Now these are all LED. Another change that they did from unit 1 to unit 2 is they offered white cords to match the whole white theme. And with all of us doing pre-order, we automatically got the white cord. We got white ends on the lights instead of black. If you want black like I have, you can make that as an option on the website. Do love the white, and I kind of wish they were all white. Now, there's a lot of padding. I'm just gonna pull out the sections. So this is your very, very top piece, and then this is where your fountain is gonna go. So we're gonna take the camera back down, and I'm gonna start digging in this box. All right, I just asserted all of my energy to dig these out. It was nice that they were all hooked together, but they have to come apart anyway. We're gonna start with is our base. I'm gonna bring this puppy over. Pump is gonna go in, the cord is gonna come out the corner. I actually have a fish tank bubbler that I'm going to be adding, which I absolutely love. All right, I am back, and I'm so sorry you missed the blooper of me coming across the dining room and cracking my head on the chandelier. I knew I was gonna do that a couple of times. I'm going to show you my fish bubbler. I highly recommend this. I will put this as a link below. I saw someone else use one or make comment of the water being stagnant in the tank when the pump is off. It's just like a big tub of water, and I really want that food mixing. You want your pH mixing, everything just continuously moving, and it really helps with slowing algae and any other buildup inside the tank. Now on the back of it has a really strong magnet. You just kind of slide off. I like to go into the back of the unit. There's a cutout back there that you can hide cords. I kind of tuck this back there so you don't see it. And you're just gonna put your fish tank bubbler down there, find the magnet, let them grab each other through the plastic, and that it's set in place. What you're gonna wanna do next is take one of these little screw guys, and you're gonna screw it into the top of your pump, and you're going to grab your hose. Now this is going to be a tight push on to your pump, but that's what you want. You want it to be really, really snug because we don't want any leakage with that. And then you can make sure your pump is through this notch, which will go in your back wall. And I have to make sure I have enough cord to go behind me. And another one of Angie's tricks, so is this number 3. I had to run a power cord because I have 2 units. So I have a really big power cord with lots of outlets in it. And I got which you probably can't see back here, but I got a 90-degree angle plug, which keeps it really flush and allows me to put this right up against the wall. So I do want this down into the corner so I can take this next level, which is going to look like this, and snap it in place. Then my cords are tucked out of the way. But before we put this in place, we are going to add our mesh. What you want to do is, in the instructions, it tells you to find screws, and there are little pieces that are popping up right here, and those are actually your screws, okay? You're going to want to take your little wing nuts and drop those over top of every hole that is in there. This is creating space between the base of it and your netting. Then you're going to line up your netting with the hole. And you're going to take the mesh and just push it into where your wing nuts, screw wings, bolts. I am not a mechanic, okay? You're gonna lay that down in there. Now you have your second one. This is another Angie trick, okay? You can almost see the other little holes, right, where everything's gonna line up. When I put this one down, I do not push it all the way down to the one underneath of it. I do leave a little bit of a gap. I just want it just above, because I still want to give a little bit of a gap there to help with the water. So you can kind of take your fingers in between the two and pull it up so you have a gap between your fingers and that next mesh level. That's going to give you a couple layers of the mesh, and that helps a little bit, right? So you can't really see, but now the mesh is in there. Then you're going to take now the actual wing nuts, because they have wings on them, and you're going to screw them into place. Once you have your mesh in, you're going to lift this up and find your hole that your pipe goes through, your tubing. Your tubing is so important. Let's not forget where our tubing is. We need this to go through every level. All right, now we are snapped in place, and it is behind these little pillars. If you want to just get this guy out of the way, you can snap that in place. Now we're going to talk about how to attach each of these with the trellises. All right, I have all of my trellises unwrapped, and this is Angie's tip number 4. This is the tip that is the most important, besides make sure you have 3 boxes. This is not in the instructions. What it tells you to do is add your trellis to the corners and then snap on a piece. Maybe it was just me, but this was very, very difficult to line up, and I spent a lot of time on my first level trying to get it to line up. What I ended up doing was taking this unit. So here's your pods, you want them angled up. You're going to turn this upside down, and we're gonna lay it on the floor. And then you're going to take one of your trellises, and you're gonna notice on your trellis that there are little arrows. You're gonna want those arrows, obviously, this is upside down, so we're gonna think that our top is on the floor. Those arrows to be going that direction. And we're gonna make sure that we're attaching it to the front. And I'm gonna drop in my trellis here this way. And I'm just gonna use the palm of my hand And I'm gonna get this to snap in place. Now we're gonna turn it back over, and there are the corners of your trellis, and it's all set up to go to add it to your next level. Now again, we don't ever wanna forget about this piping. And you're gonna notice a little latch right here or a little circle in the middle, and that's where we want our pipe to go up. And then you're gonna see the latches on the front where that trellis goes. And this makes it so much easier to line those up where they need to be. And you can thank me later for that, because the other way in the instruction manual, so David, if you're watching this from Igworks, change the manual. Tell us to flip it upside down. Just a little tip from Angie. All right, are we tired and exhausted yet? But it's so worth it. I mean, look, we're actually looking like we have an Iharvest, right? This is the most exciting part, is putting together the final pieces of it. We're going to grab another one of these screw caps that's going to go into our tubing, and again, really push that in there. Your next level, or your top level, will look like this. And we're gonna put this on, line this up with the center, and take my T-cross piece, and I'm going to screw this on, and you can do this very easily by yourself. I'm gonna screw it on, and I want that to be sideways. Now you have a lot of piping left, because you know, we kind of tend to pull it when we want it to get up to the top. So you're going to reach down to the bottom and pull that pipe back through to bring this down. And then we can line up our trellis pieces, and it should snap in place. I actually have my screw in place. I measured this floor to up, and it's 59 inches. I'm gonna find this little piece. I can put the screw in, lift it up, and then this is really going to determine where I need this to be, right or left, and get it to go in there. I'm not gonna latch it into place right now, because I wanna make sure that I can get to my cords. I still have to run the light cables underneath, the light plugs, and I wanna be able to pull it away from the wall. So for me, adding the latch would be the last thing to do, and that could be Angie tip number 6, 5? You guys help me out with how many tips I'm giving you. We're gonna keep that latch undone until we are done. All right, now we're going to assemble the light pole. So here is your base. You're going to grab one of your poles, and you will see on the bottom there is a hole for that. You're going to drop that into the base, turn this puppy upside down, and let's make sure I don't stab myself. And we're going to drop the screw in. You can start it with your fingers. They do give you one of these. Line it up in the front of the light pole. I'll turn this way. And you have these really cool little T-clips. Take this, and I'm going to snap it onto the back of the light pole. You can slide it up and down. You might want it down a little bit more. Snap it onto the pole with just a little pressure. And then you can add another one. And then I just like to kind of slide this one down into place. Snap this one on. The base of the cord, you will see this little attachment, and this is gonna drop in right underneath, and then you can run your cable underneath the Iharvest. Okay, so I have my lights all set up, and I wanted to show you the inside of my little cabinet. This is another Angie trick. I purchased one of these little outlet extenders, which gives you a couple of more plugs. So I have one here, and then this extender. These are from Amazon. And then I have the 2 white lights for the new unit and 1 light. So first unit and second unit. All 4 light systems are on the same timer. And I kind of just have this all hidden back in my cabinet. And I'm going to then put my pump into this timer, so both pumps will be on the same timer as well. All right, so the power of editing, I have both of these set up on the same timer for the pump, which you can hear running right now. I wanted to show you really quick with the baskets and these little green clips that you're going to be taking off of here. You're going to hook it to the back side like this, slide it up and through until you have it clipped like that, and then you can add one of your little pods. This is one of my dill, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the latch down here at the bottom. I'm going to hook that in, and I'm going to spin it around and so it's latched into place. Last thing I'm going to talk about is the meters and the food. Kind of touched on this a little bit at the beginning, that they upgraded to an EC meter. This is your first one. You're going to learn EC in a easy 0.6, 0.7, 2.1 type conversion. For me, I have to relearn it, but once I do, it should be very basic. Right now my water is just what came out of my tap, and I'm going to use my old ones because I'm familiar with them. I'm going to turn on my pH meter. It is running right now at 8.3. Now my baby plants, I have it marked on here, should be 5.8 to 6.5. So what I do is use the pH down, and there is this little tube that comes with the one that you can just test your tap water to kind of see where you're at. And I like to use this so I know if I'm doing 1 squirt, 2 squirt, 3 squirt. I'm going to go ahead and add 2. If I need to bring it back up, that is the joy of playing with the chemistry set. So your food has a scooper in the food. Don't lose your scooper. I'm going to test now and see where it is naturally out of my water. It's at 182, which is super duper low. I want for new plants between 600 and 800 of ppm. And if you're using the conversion, 600 to 800, you're going to be 1.2 to 1.7 if you're using the other meter. I'm going to go ahead and do just the small scoop, but I'm going to fill it all the way, and I'm going to dump it in. And now with it running in a cycle, I want it to run 1 or 2 cycles and come back and check it. So when you're first setting up, it does take a little bit to get it balanced out. And then once you do, you just need to check it maybe once a week, kind of see where your levels are at and add. Your water will turn a yellowy color. Don't be alarmed. That is just the food. Right now it's very, very clear where that one is almost like an orange. And that is just the food really getting in there and feeding the plants. I set out on the video with some slides so you can kind of see what they both look like together. Please leave your comments and your questions below. I'm always here available to answer your questions. And remember, if you are interested in one of these units, go ahead and use my coupon code Grow With Angie and you'll save $50 off. And let's just start growing together. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see any future videos from Grow With Angie, and we'll see you on the next episode.